Hello, everyone. Welcome to Palette Talk. I'm your host, Victoria Page. I am so stoked to introduce my very first guest on the pod. Miss Hayley Buckout is one of my closest friends. She literally came out of the womb demanding equal treatment for herself and other women, and she's always advocating for others and just truly a queen. She chose the Society of Women's Health Research as her charity, which we get into during the episode, but I will have the link to their website in my bio if you feel so inclined to read up more on it or to donate to it. Her painting is available right now on my website, also linked below. All proceeds, again, will go to Society of Women's Health Research after shipping costs. One thing to note is that we do jump all over the place while we talk because I'm still learning how to do this and I'm still learning how to edit, so please be nice. If you have any ideas or constructive criticism, throw them in the comments. This is a work in progress, and if anyone is listening, thank you. All right, let's get into it. Okay, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, Hayley?
Yes.
Welcome to Palette Talk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, what'd you call it?
Palette Talk. Wait, I haven't even told you the name.
No, I love it.
Oh,
I thought you said Peloton. I was like, that's interesting.
Palette Talk. It was originally going to be, painting with Paige, but I go by VP, so that seems silly.
Well, how did you come up with
ChatGPT?
Love it.
Love it.
AI can be used for good.
Yeah, AI is my manager.
Yeah, for real.
ChatGPT.
That was something that my manager, we did our year end, and one of the things he told me was, like, we as a team should try to use AI more. I was like, that is like so scary.
That is, that's scary. Helpful though.
Yeah.
But I try not to use it as much, but.
Yeah. He said to use it for like our goal setting or whatever for the verbiage.
Do you remember what the charity is called that you chose?
Yes, I do. It is called the Society for Women's Health Research.
Ooh.
Do you want me to read the little byline?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Why'd you decide that one though?
Well, I've always had a passion for women's empowerment, women's rights. I kind of studied it or specialized in it in college.
What did you specialize?
So I was a social worker.
I feel like Logan is healthcare.
Yeah.
But you're social background, right?
Yeah, mine was social work, but I did my internship at the Women's Center, which is a domestic violence and sexual assault outreach center, and they have an actual shelter for women. So that was my internship that I did my senior year.
Damn.
So I've always been passionate about that, and it's pretty scary to be a girly these days because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I can't keep up even.
How many weeks has it been since he's been in?
Literally 3.
Wait, somebody asked me somebody was like, that guy looks like JD Vance, and I was like, who's JD Vance?
Because we've just fully disassociated.
No, disassociated.
My mom told me that she's in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, and she told me that the president was coming, and I was like, what?
All week, or is she?
Yeah, she just went down yesterday because she has the neighbors at the cottage are from there, so they were going to visit them, and it just happened to be the Super Bowl week. But she was like, the president is coming to the game, and it took me a second to remember. My first thought was Obama, because he's the true president in my head. I was like, that was so long ago.
We've just blacked everything out since.
Yeah, for real.
I wish I understood the magnitude of when he got into office.
I know.
Because did you watch it in school?
Yeah, but it was more that was I think it was 4th grade, and that was the first civics class we'd ever taken. So everyone was really the entire school voted for who they wanted to win, which was also
kind of cringy. What do you mean?
It was kind of weird.
Let's see how divided these 4th graders are.
Well, I remember it being more of a funny debate, but it wasn't as serious as it is now. It wasn't as tied to your moral compass back then, is what it felt like. Well, maybe I was just because I was in 4th grade. Yeah. And everyone just voted for whoever their parents did. Is it okay if I get paint on the easel?
Yeah, that's what they're for.
Okay, cool. Because there's going to be a lot of ink on it.
There's a lot of paint everywhere. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I already got some on the overalls too.
Oh, yeah. That's what these are for.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Sunday when I was painting, I literally stepped in paint like a lot.
I'm sure. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, that's the best part. When you declare yourself a painter, you're like, I can get paint on anything now.
Yeah. You're giving Mia Thermopolis' Mom and Princess Diaries because she wears her hair in a little bun like that. Yep.
That's such a good compliment. Thank
You look fabulous.
Okay, so Obama.
Yep.
Because I remember it as well. And I remember my teacher crying.
Really?
Yeah, because at the time, she was my favorite teacher, by the way.
Yep.
I think she was middle school, though. I think she was 6th grade.
Okay.
And
yeah, maybe that's when it was, not fourth
grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah.
She remembered, like, her grandparents having to, like, walk separately.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, they were obviously different races, and
yeah.
it was just, I just didn't understand. I was like, why would they have to do that?
I didn't either. Now that you're saying that, I remember my mom kind of talking through that too, but I just did not understand the magnitude, and I just wanted to see if who I voted for, which was Obama in 4th grade at my school. I wanted to see if he won because everyone was making bets on the playground.
Oh wow!
So that was my.
Did you win any money?
No, I think I don't remember what it was. I just wanted bragging rights over the boys.
Yeah. I'm so excited that you chose women's health too, because I've been so obsessed with it lately.
Yeah.
Like
the hormone health. So what would I do if I wanted to make it like not just one solid color, like some streakies, kind of like that one? Just add like a little bit of white to it and kind of like.
Oh, so this one I actually mixed water in a spray bottle and I sprayed it.
Oh.
Background, there's a little bit of streakies, but
yeah, maybe there's not as many. Maybe you just have a lot of good designs, which I can do.
Do whatever your heart tells you to do.
Okay. So it's telling me to add white.
You can dip like half of this into white and then just see what happens.
Okay.
I was going to do a bunch of orchids, but we should describe what we're painting.
Oh, yes.
So Haley obviously chose women's health.
Yep.
Women's, like, what was it called again?
It's women's health research.
Oh, health research, which we're both I've been so passionate about this lately.
You have been, yeah. Because it's such a gap. Women are 50, if not more percent of the population. It's more than 50%. And they just weren't included in medical research.
At all.
At all.
Did you know that they won't test your hormones if you're not actively trying to get pregnant for at least a year?
Really?
Isn't that
I didn't know that. I also know that they won't test your hormones or things like your thyroid levels, etc., unless you have like a pre-existing condition. So I've had doctors that are like, I know you don't, or not a pre-existing condition, but some sort of like medical condition.
Oh.
So a doctor that I saw, I won't say who it was, but they said that I had some like osteoporosis or something like really
What's osteoporosis?
You know, I don't know. And it might not have even been that because that might be a bone
you
thing.
Have it.
I know. Barely I have it medically. But then that was the only way that I could have my insurance actually pay for like a thyroid.
Which good for that doctor, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's not fun having to figure that out on your own.
Yeah, for sure. It's scary.
It is scary. But yeah, so we are painting Lady Bits inspired paintings.
Yes. Yes.
What are you painting?
I'm painting a strawberry cut open. Yep.
To expose all those strawberry bits.
Yeah, all the bits, all the lady bits. Not my lady bits. This is not a direct correlation.
I was about to say watermelon sugar, but
that too. I could do that in the corner.
Yeah, and I'm painting an orchid, a blooming orchid, which is, I think, going to be harder than I think. But that's all right. This is all just trial and error.
Having fun with the girlies.
Having fun for the girlies.
Because yeah, my strawberry's already a little booked.
Wait, I feel like I shouldn't look.
I know, I wanted to look at yours, but should we wait till the end?
It's green. Yeah. It's still just green.
It's so fun.
I want to get back into the women's health topic though.
Yeah. Yeah, we should.
Are you comfortable talking about your pill journey?
Yes. Yes.
Because I am recently off the pill.
Yes.
And I want to know your experience.
Yep. I am totally comfortable sharing that. So I started taking birth control when I was a freshman in college. And I was also like, just like processing a lot of stuff and like started going to therapy for the first time. It was just like such an intense experience moving away from home and like just taking birth control, and like there was just like so much going on.
Did your doctor like give you any?
No, I went to the health center at my college and got it.
What made you like get it? Was it a you choice?
Yes, it was a me choice. I was doing it because I was sexually active, and I was like, well, that's it was college. I was at a liberal arts school. You know how it goes. So I was like, well, when you start having sex, like you need to be on birth control. That's just
because
like what you do.
If you're having sex and you're not on birth control, you're going to be pregnant and die.
Yeah, and then my life is over.
Of course.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's just like what you do. And then I realized that I did not really like it because I've had like, anxiety, PMDD, which I didn't know at the time.
What's PMDD?
I actually don't know what the acronym stands for. It's like premenstrual depressive disorder or something like that. Didn't know I had it at the time. So my mood was just like, would swing a lot. So it was hard for me to pinpoint that it was swinging more from birth control just because I was like kind of becoming aware of the different cycles at the same time, like the cycles in my body. I don't know. It was just like there was a lot going on. It was very confusing, but
it is for everybody.
Yeah. But there was like specific moments where I was like, okay, this is like a little unhinged, these like feelings or thoughts, like you weren't feeling this before you started taking the birth control.
So I know it was extreme for you, but that's good that you like could think of that as a source.
Well, because I was Googling it like crazy.
Oh, okay.
And then I found out that like a side effect of some birth control is like mood swings and like a whole slew of other things.
Yeah.
But so I stopped taking it. And then my actual OB recommended that I take one that was more progesterone heavy versus estrogen heavy. So I tried that. It didn't work. It was still just like making my moods horrible. And so then I stopped, and then I was on the NuvaRing for a little bit because in my head I was like,
it's different.
I was like, if you're putting it down there, then the hormones are just right there. They're not coursing through your body. It's like centralized.
Yeah.
No,
it can't go anywhere else in your body.
Exactly. And
our ovaries are completely separate from us.
Yeah. It's a whole separate, nothing's connected. Nothing's connected at all. So I was on that for a little bit, like when I was dating somebody. And then when I broke up with that person, I was like, I just kind of like fell off of it because there wasn't really like I was not sexually active. Wah, wah. Pretty sad time. It was not very long, but and now I was like, there's no
catches them quick.
There's just no need for me to be on it. And
did you feel it when you went off of it?
No.
Okay.
I just felt it when I went on it, but I wasn't on it for very long. It was just probably like 4 years, 2 to 3 years total, but over the span of like 4 years. So it wasn't like super long. And then I was just like, I didn't really like that experience. There's other ways to be safe, especially if I'm not like having very consistent sex. So it's like easier to manage. And then I just started hearing about like some crazy stuff that was a little freaky.
That's
about it. But now that I am consistently sexually active.
Queen!
Thank goodness. I got the Aura ring because I still need to be safe.
Yeah.
And I still want to like track things. But yeah, I know everyone's like talking about like hormone health, and it's kind of one of those things that you can like self-diagnose on TikTok and you don't know like what's actually going on.
Was always like, stop watching TikToks.
Yes, my therapist
only one piece of the story.
Yes,
it's a 30-second piece of your life.
Yes.
Think about your whole life. Think about that 30 seconds.
Yes.
It's not comparable.
It's not comparable. You don't have ADD, you're not autistic, and you don't have one ovary. And sometimes
I might be.
Sometimes you never know. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I would go on like spirals about it. So then I started seeing a dietitian actually because I found out that I did have PMDD, which is when
how did you find that out? Did you get something tested, like your blood or?
No, my therapist sent me to a psychiatrist.
Okay.
because I was doing the therapy thing, but I would still like have moments, like especially leading up to my period, where I could just like not leave the bed.
Yeah.
The pre-period saddies, as I call them.
That's what, I didn't know, what did you call it? PPMD?
Yeah. That's the actual, that is the actual term.
When I tell people that's a thing, I'm like, I don't know what it's called, pre-period saddies. That's what I say.
Wait, I love that. Because it's so much more fun to say.
It is.
It feels less serious and more silly.
Even though it's not at all.
Yeah.
But I like your little nicknames.
Yeah. And then I started seeing a psychiatrist.
Did you like know that the pre-period saddies were pre-period?
Yeah, because I started tracking it. And there was like a very distinct difference, like the week leading up to my period versus like the week after. Even the week of my period's kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But the week before and the week after was like crazy different. So I was like, okay, there's got to be something to this. So then I started taking some meds, even though I was kind of hesitant to do that just because I'm like hesitant about like doing anything like that. Just like,
that's not something to be ashamed of. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Not good, but
good to be like cautious or like intentional, I guess. And so then I also started seeing a dietitian to see if there was anything I could do with my food. And I ended up taking a hormone test, and I had a super high estrogen count, which...
What was the hormone test like?
It was a 24-hour like pee test.
Was it like for a specific time of your cycle, or was it like...
Yes.
The whole cycle?
No, it was actually, that's a really good question. I don't remember when it was, but I think it was like 3 days after my period or something like that. Yeah. Because
I asked Logan and I was like, I have my blood work done. She's like, well, you got it done at the wrong time. Like, this doesn't tell me anything. And I was like, oh.
Which is another thing that like...
Nobody tells you.
Nobody tells you.
They're just like, yeah, come in and get your blood work done.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you're normal. I'm like, compared to who? The rest of America?
Yeah. Not everyone has these same levels. And
yeah.
And
the Americans aren't the healthiest here.
No.
Like,
no.
It's normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody...
So it's good that you were doing like a hormone test that's like consistent.
Yeah. And then high cortisol, high estrogen, high long-term stress hormones, blah, 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 the whole gamut. But, yeah, it was just really interesting. And then she was like, the reason that the birth control probably affected you more is your estrogen's already high. You don't need any more estrogen. So, yeah. Just goes to show that...
What did she end up telling you for food?
I
lived with Hayley during this time.
Yeah.
But I feel like you were like, I need protein.
Yeah, so I don't even know if that... A lot of it was like connected to more of like blood sugar. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff. I just kind of did whatever she told me because I just like trusted her, and I was like, I can't keep up with all these different things. But it was like eating right away in the morning.
Interesting.
Before you have coffee, because coffee can spike cortisol, and it's all kind of connected too, which I didn't realize. So like eating right away in the morning, even before you have coffee, eating more protein, which I know is another kind of like hot topic. So take that with a grain of salt, but eating more protein. It was the protein, and then getting food right in your system, making sure to like balance. It was a lot of like basic stuff that you probably could assume,
well, I just
but
feel
you just
like
don't
the internet is so like intermittent fasting. You don't have to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
which I was gonna try,
and
she was like, "You shouldn't do that for
you." Yeah. Do you like consistently keep up with that, or did you just like learn it and you're kind of...
I kind of learned it and then learned like what made my body feel good, and then just kind of stuck with that. And then, but she was great.
That's good.
I should have left her a review.
Oh, you still can.
I still could.
You still can.
2 years later.
She should come on the pod.
Yeah. Her name's Jess.
Aw. Remember you were seeing it. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. It helped a lot. And
it's just nice when you have something going on and you have a doctor that listens to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is normal and treatable, and there's a word for it. And it's okay.
Yeah. That was honestly probably the best part.
Yeah.
Was just putting kind of a a name to it, or at least having like a game plan in place instead of just being like, I feel like shit and I don't know what to do. Having like something to do about it. And I think that there should be a balance of obviously like traditional, like mainstream Western medication and like holistic medication. I don't think it should be completely separate, but I feel like it should definitely be more like integrated.
It's just crazy to me that, I guess I don't know a lot about the medical industry, but it seems like everybody should be talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It seems like they don't. It seems like there's a weird tension between them.
Yeah. Which
I feel like I don't know, I guess that was one of the biggest epiphanies of growing older. Because your parents are always like, trust your doctor, trust your doctor. And then you're like, well, they're not all talking to each other. I just assumed every doctor knew all of the same things and had all the same views and, you know?
Yeah. And it's crazy that as a patient, you have to be your biggest advocate.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but it's also like, if you're going through something, you need somebody else that you can like rely on, and it's hard to not feel like you can do that.
My heart just goes out to anybody who like is going through something so quickly by themselves.
Yeah.
And doesn't feel like they're heard.
Yeah.
Like that would just be so hard.
So hard. Even like Nolan experienced that a little bit with his accident. So my 21-year-old brother was a lifty at Steamboat, and he got hit in the face with a ski lift. And yeah, it's not funny, but it's just like crazy to say out loud.
Nolan.
Yeah. And he had a really bad concussion and then had to have like facial reconstruction surgery. And this was, I think, a little over 10 months ago at this point, and he's still dealing with it. But that was the issue that we had, is he's seeing a neurologist, his face surgeon, his workers' comp doctor, who's his primary care doctor that's supposed to like compile all the information.
Yeah.
But he's like got a concussion. He like couldn't really remember stuff. And they're all fantastic, but like they'd all be telling him to do something different. And I'd have to be like, no, actually, this doctor told us not to do that. And they're like, oh yeah, then like, don't do it. I'm like, what?
Then why'd you just tell me to?
Yeah. Like, I don't feel like I'm equipped to be the one taking freaking notes here. But again, they were all like great, but it's just, there's no talking.
I mean, they're a product of the system, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Even if they have the best intentions.
When I was like midway through school, I was always like, if I could redo school, I would be a botanist.
Oh, I could see that for you.
Definitely.
That would be awesome.
I am obsessed with flowers.
Yeah.
Or alternative doctor. What is it called? The nootropics doctor?
I don't know, but I thought about doing something similar too, actually.
Yeah. But I feel like
I was really into essential oils. My freshman year of college, I was like, you know what? Holistic doctor, sign me up. I could cure anyone with some peppermint lavender oil.
Oh, that's so good, because it's so true.
I know.
During that era, you're like, oh, you have a migraine here. Let me rub this.
Rub it on.
Right on your temple, but it's the right, you need to massage it.
Yep, and then the peppermint's squirting in my eye.
Degrees in the room.
Yeah.
You're like, college people have too much fucking time on their hands.
For real.
Yeah, that was a big trend. I still use essential oils. Do you?
I don't know where mine went in the move, but I think about it a lot. It's just like, I'm manifesting that it works.
Yeah, that it'll appear again.
But I do have like, my aunt always gets me some like essential oil combinations for like Christmas or something. So I do have that.
Nice.
But
you have an aunt that's a nurse, and she uses them like with her patients and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it got like cleared that you can bring them in to the room. 'Cause, I mean, why not help people if there's not like a downside?
Yeah.
Even if there's not like a strong proven upside, if there's not a downside and somebody wants to do it, like why not do it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like she was really
peppermint oils aren't gonna like do anything, like they're not gonna have a negative
They're
effect.
not gonna cure, your autoimmune disease maybe, but they might make your
headache feel a little better.
Yeah. Especially when you're in a hospital, like.
Yeah.
I just can't believe some people go to work in a hospital every day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that was my thing with like that. I was like, I don't think I could go through it all. Because I think it would pound like the curiosity out of me. Because it's so, I was at my friend's wedding back in December, and her dad was like, I was like, I've just been so obsessed with like women's health and hormones. Because I recently got off the pill, and I'm like, what's going on? I have acne. Why? Like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, you should, like, you can still go into it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I feel like it would take all of the, and like, I'm happy where I am. I like being an engineer.
Yeah. You want to know about it for like you, and then the people around you can tell, not necessarily for like a.
Well, it's like, I wish I was in a position where I could do that, but going through it, I feel like it teaches it out of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there are, I'm sure, plenty of doctors where it doesn't, which is great. But I feel like a lot of doctors, it does. It like, I don't know.
Well, you get desensitized too to stuff. Like, that's something we talked a lot about in social work, was like the burnout factor, and how you can, like, if you hear so many stories, like, you're going to get compassion fatigue.
That's so crazy. What was it like working at your internship?
The internship was.
So what was like your title? Like, and what was like the place specifically?
Yep. So it was called the Women's Center, actually. It was the Women's Center.
Nice and straightforward.
Yep. No beating around the bush. Yeah. I was interested in macro social work, which is, so there's micro and macro. Micro is like you're working with individuals. You're a caseworker. You're a caseworker for CPS. You're working at a domestic violence shelter. Like, you're actually working with the individuals. But macro is where you're interested in like developing programs, maybe even like public policy. It's just looking at things from a bit like higher of a lens. And I was really interested in that. So they had both a shelter and they had an outreach center. And I was at the outreach center. So I was like helping write grants. I would sit in
grants for.
It was like a $250 like Walmart grant. It was nothing crazy.
She went to school in Northern Michigan.
Yeah, so there was like a Walmart and a Target, and that was about it. But so I would do a lot of like that stuff. I did like a lot of bookkeeping, actually, that's just kind of what you have to do at internships. You have to do kind of like the grunt work. But I would sit in on they had like a outpatient like therapy available. So outpatient is like not people that are like staying in house. It's people that'll just like come into the center for an appointment and then leave. And then so I would sit in on some like outpatient intake sessions, which was really sad and really interesting. Interesting's not the right word. Trying to think of the right word. It was just very eye-opening and like
real.
Very real. Yeah.
So I feel like when you learn, like, I can't imagine learning social work in school and then you get a job and you're like, whoa.
You're like, holy fuck, this is crazy.
This is real. This is real as fuck.
Yeah.
Especially if you're dealing with like at a women's center.
Really heavy stuff. Well, we had like a whole like unit on empathy and compassion fatigue and like self-care practices and stuff, which is like crazy that we learned that in school, but it made sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And we would do like therapy sessions with one another where you'd like be the therapist, and then one of your students would be like, someone would be sitting like behind like a mirror watching you taking notes.
Oh, wow.
It was scary, but it was cool. Or like court advocacy, that was something that they did too. So if a woman's going through a domestic violence or like a sexual assault court case,
oh man,
then you're there just to like sit with them. They knew a lot of the lawyers in the area, and they knew the judges, so they would basically help like interpret a lot of the like lawyer lingo and make it easier for them, and just be there for like emotional support. And that was the craziest thing. I think that the thing that's like, there's two things that stuck with me the most. One of them I probably can't say on a podcast. But the second one was the court advocacy thing, because there was a case with a football player and a woman that like was sexually assaulted after a party. So like all of the like horrible things you hear people say about women that claim that they or say that they've been sexually assaulted, all of the terrible like things that people will say about them like happened in that case. Like the lawyer was like, you sleep around, like you were hammered, like blah blah blah, like all that stuff was like up front and center, and we were like, it was insane. I'm not saying it with a smile on my face because it was funny, but I just like can't even believe that it happened. It was insane.
It is crazy, like what we have to do to get people to listen to us.
Yeah.
And not even what we have to do. It's like we shouldn't have to do. We should just have to tell what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah. And they got like very specific to like there was other people in the room, and like it was just it was absurd, and nobody listened to her.
Oh my God.
And it was really sad.
I mean, like, how did you handle that? Like, how do you handle being like her support system in that?
Yeah. Well, luckily I mean, I wasn't the main support. I was just there to learn, luckily, because I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been like, can I give you a hug? Like, I wouldn't have known what to do.
You stand up in court, this is bullshit.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
It was wild. But bringing it back to women's health, she did get a kit done. And that's another program that we would do, is we would sit with people when they were getting their kits done, because a lot of times you don't know what it means, or you don't know what it's going to be like.
I don't know what it means. What is it?
They have to like take samples of your like saliva and everything else down there. Your lady bits. Your strawberry. They be looking at that strawberry.
They be that sugar.
Yep. But a lot of like, it's scary, especially if you've just been like assaulted. Like, the last thing
do you have until you like have to go?
God, I wish I could remember. I think it was like 24 hours or something.
That's already so like brave.
Yeah. And they recommend you get it done even if you don't want to press charges, because you can't get that time back. But yeah, but the nurses were always really nice. So like they were doing something right.
Dude, the nurses are out here just like carrying the country on their back.
Yeah.
Truly.
For real.
It's like they're out here changing everybody's diapers.
Yeah.
Soothing all the women.
Yeah. Having like
everybody in the hospital in general.
Because humans aren't just their body parts. They're also like the like soul, or like the emotions and like everything else. So like if doctors are looking at it so like logically and like scientifically, the nurses are the ones that can like bridge the gap between like the actual.
With them all the time too.
Yeah.
It's like the doctors come in and do their thing and read the papers, but it's like the nurses are like
in the trenches.
In the trenches.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting that like during COVID, nurses were like the best. They were like raised up, like, thank you so much. And I feel like that just disappeared.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, where did it go?
Yeah, that's
nothing is
a very fair point.
I'm like, they're still out here doing the same thing.
Literally.
I mean, I guess they're not. When COVID very first hit, like, people were very scared of it.
Yeah.
And like they obviously had to be in there with COVID patients, but like their day-to-day hasn't changed much, I guess, except for like
maybe that immediate COVID risk, but still.
Yeah. But still, like, I feel like their protocol is still they're helping people every day.
Yeah. And there was such a nursing shortage too that I think is still going on. Don't quote me on that, but
I think it depends on the hospital at this point.
Yeah.
But I
save that question for Logan.
Yeah, Logan.
She would know.
Our nurse friend. Everybody's got to have a nurse friend, you know.
Yeah.
They humble you. Nothing is more humbling than when you're like, oh, I had a hard day at work, and Logan's like, oh, I had a patient die, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I just accidentally deleted my VLOOKUP, but that's not as bad.
I accidentally fucked up an Excel equation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah.
It's so true. I just can't believe people have to like carry that daily.
It would be so hard to like turn it off.
To turn it off.
Do you want me to tell you the cat story?
Yeah. Wait, what's the cat story?
So I was letting Stevie out today.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And she like loves...
There's got to be some crazy alley cats on South Broadway.
Yes. We see them all the time. She's gotten like decently used to them, and she loves cats. She loves Toby, Lindsay, my sister's cat, and thinks that they're all friends with her. Or she wants to eat them. I haven't quite decided. It's a little bit of both.
She does have a high prey drive.
Yeah. And so she was like sniffing hardcore. She went into the back patio and she like sniffed underneath the bench, and then she did her little point thing. And like bristled up, and I was like, oh my God. I thought it was like a skunk or something. So I looked under, and all I could see was like black, and I just thought it was dark. And then I saw the cat open up its eyes and went...
Oh, God.
Then I had to direct Stevie in, and I was like, I should go out and feed it. But I was like, with 3 dogs, we can't do that.
Yeah, cats are not scared of anything either.
No. That cat was like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah, literally. That's funny. Okay, so my printer story. So, so I was going to print off like reference photos for the both of us. And I got this new job. I guess it was like 4 months ago now, but I haven't like used the printer really for anything. So I was like, okay, might as well print vagina inspired artwork.
And some of them are very vaginal.
So I printed like a test page. I printed like whatever I was working on. At the end of the day, I'm an engineer, so it's like, I don't know, engineering stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And it's right next to like the door. So I was like, okay, I'll do like a practice, go to the bathroom, and like I can just like snag it and then like go back to my desk and nobody will see. And I was like, okay, it worked. Like I did the test page, now I'm gonna do the real.
The vaginas.
The vaginas. And like they're not like Hayley's doing a piece of strawberry.
Yeah.
But like she sent me a photo of like actual cartoon vaginas.
Yes.
They were colorful. They were like fun.
Yeah, but it was pretty obvious to tell what they
with,
were.
Like photo edited vagina like actually in the fruit.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, it's fine. Like I'm right next to the printer. It'll be okay. It prints in color and it's like quiet. So I print the 3 photos. My reference photo, 2 of Hayley's.
Yep.
And I hear it go beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, fuck. So I get up, I see a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, cool. I grab it and I go to the bathroom and I'm like, which, mind you, I'm like a pretty confident person.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, unless I get embarrassed.
Yep.
When I get embarrassed, I get really shy. And I haven't worked there for a long time. Like, I don't know.
And how many
and it's all men
work there? Yeah, I was gonna say male-dominated field.
Quiet men. And Hayley's didn't print. And I was like, fuck. And it's like beeping red. And I'm like, okay, why is it beeping red? So I look and it goes out of paper. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, geez.
So I'm trying to like open, but you know, it's like an office one. So it's like a big printer.
Yep.
So it's a big printer and I can't get it open. And I'm like, fuck. I run back to my desk and I'm like, okay, I can't ask for someone to help me.
Because that's going to print out.
And it's like kind of it's quiet in here. So like it'll, I don't want it to create, like, I don't know the printer culture. Like, I don't know if it's going to create a bunch of people are going to come over. Like
everyone just surrounds.
Wait, no, the worst part is I go back to my desk and I go, I must have only done page 1. Like, and I sent it again.
Oh no.
So
do you think they're just backlogged?
So I'm like, okay, it's fine. We're all going to happy hour. I'm like anxious. I'm like, why am I anxious? And I'm like, oh my God, the only people that go in on Fridays are like the big bosses. Like, you know?
Mr. CEO walks in.
And I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to have to print something. And all that's going to come out is 4
not just one, but 4.
Not just one. And reprints. They're going to be like, who was printing this? I have anxiety thinking about it. So now we'll I guess long story short is nobody goes in on Friday and I'm going to go in tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
resolve this.
To resolve it, which I think I'm glad for the sake of your own mental health that you're doing that.
I am still nervous though.
Because sitting through the weekend and just not knowing and coming in on Monday, they take the pictures up. Yeah.
Oh God.
They won't do that. They won't do that.
Oh no, they wouldn't do that. Oh yeah, we were gonna brainstorm what my followers will be called. So I was thinking about beholders.
Beholders, like in the eye of the beholder. Because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and some of these might not be very beautiful.
Exactly.
I love it.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll be a workshopping idea.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good job for Henry.
It is a good job for Henry.
Yeah.
He would love the task.
Yeah.
Henry's gonna be the mascot of the show.
I believe it.
No, literally at the end.
Really?
If you guys don't know Henry, he works at Emporium.
Yep.
On Tennyson in Denver.
Yep.
We live in Denver, and if you guys are ever on Tennyson, go to Emporium.
It's the best.
Ask for Henry.
He might give you a discount.
He might give you a discount. And ask him about the Pacers.
Yep.
Or his dog Kelly.
Yep.
And tip him a lot.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it. He's the best. And if you ever need anybody to talk to, go talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he is always open to talking.
Yep. You can sit at the bar and drink a lot of really good beer.
Exactly.
And just talk.
And just talk.
You'll see him soon because he's going to be a guest at some point.
At some point. That's so sweet.
Okay, I liked adding the white to this.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun,
Yeah,
right?
that's fun. I like it.
And don't be scared of like contrast, dark colors, light colors.
Okay.
Because the best thing about painting is you can just go back and paint over it.
I love it.
You know?
I wish life was like that.
It is.
I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, painting is the best. I was actually thinking about this today.
Okay.
So I told you that one of my favorite artists, I can't think of his name right now. He did like a YouTube video of only asking himself questions while he painted, which you can go down a deep, dark hole when you do that.
Yep.
I've done that when I've been high before. So,
nightmare.
Yeah, literally. And then I was thinking about painting and I was like, how come when I'm painting and I do that, I don't go into a deep, dark, scary hole? And I feel like it's because when you're painting on a canvas, it makes it simple. You're like, oh, Hans Zimmer could be scary, but it's just on the canvas.
Yeah.
That's not scary.
Yeah.
It's just right in front of me.
I like that.
I can see it.
Puts everything into perspective a little bit.
Yeah, like it helps you like stand as a third party to like something scary.
Yeah.
But usually when you're painting, it's fun things.
Yeah, so that balances it out. But I feel like too, anytime you're doing something, it kind of like silences that part of your brain. Like if you're doing something meditative, like if you're like, for me, cleaning, or like if you're painting, it like kind of shuts that part of the brain off so you can let your other part of the brain go that's not quite as scary.
Getting into like a flow state, it is crazy how like cleaning can be a flow state. But it is crazy how like meditative it is. Like, and I've heard that about women, that it affects them differently, like clutter. Yeah. Like I wonder why. Do you think it's just because we're more? So I have a theory. Yeah, I kind of do too, but I want to hear yours. No, I want to hear yours first. My theory is that women are just socialized to like be the keepers of the house. You're shown how to clean from a young age, so like it makes sense that you would be more apt to cleaning or more used to cleaning. And so maybe like okay with using that as an outlet for like your stress or something. Yeah, I guess like deeply rooted when you're like young, seeing your mom clean. Yeah. I wonder how it affects people who like didn't grow up with their moms. Like if they have the same mental part. That like makes them feel like they should clean when they're stressed. Yeah. But it's like cluttered house, cluttered mind. Right. So like when we were living together, when you would wake up and I'd be like cleaning out random drawers. Oh yeah. It's because I was really stressed. When Hayley and I lived together, we used to live together. Yep. With our other roommate, Quinn. Hayley would do this one like passive aggressive thing. Oh boy. We're both from the Midwest. Yep. So that's just a lot. We would have people over and like leave stuff in the living room and you would like move them
into one little spot. Yeah. I'd make like you can pick your stuff up here.
Pick your stuff up here. And I would pass it. I would just pass it. I'd be like, I wonder whose that is. And I would just pass it every day. And then it would get closer and closer to my bedroom. And I would be like, I should have told you this when we lived. I was like, you should just put it on my pillow.
I know. I didn't think about it. I would have actually
appreciated that a lot.
I probably should have.
Because Quinn would go, this is Haley's way of telling you this is yours. And I would be like, oh, really? It's mine? I thought it was yours.
That is too funny. Yeah, I still do that.
It's so funny.
What brush should I use for the strawberry part? Just whatever brush?
Just whatever brush you want.
Okay. Good shit. How's yours coming along?
Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to make this look like an orchid. Jesus.
Orchids are hard because they have so much depth to them.
Which I'm not very privy to. I paint like a 6-year-old.
Remember that one day that you painted at the Umatia house out in the yard?
Oh yeah, I tried to paint a pair of boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good. They were a little lopsided and saggy, but that's kind of how boobs are.
My brother, well, I've never done skin tones before. Hard. When you don't paint many skin tones,
it's tricky.
It's tricky.
I thought it turned out good though.
Thank you. My brother came downstairs and he goes, why do you, those look like a pair of balls with some herpes on them. I was like, thank you.
That's just what I was going for, actually.
I missed my brother so much.
Nothing like a family member to just really humble you. Especially a sibling.
Especially a sibling. Haley has a little sister.
Yeah.
Little brother.
I have a little brother.
Who humbles her a lot?
Yeah, they both do, honestly.
Well, 2 little brothers, I guess, but.
Yeah, but, well, the little brother.
How bad do you think Kirby is going to be?
Oh, he already is humbling me.
Really?
But Kirby, for example, Lindsay was eating, Lindsay's a very picky eater, so she was eating chicken.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was eating like veggie chicken tenders and French fries. We were at home for the holidays and she was sitting next to Kirby eating it, and Kirby turns to her and goes, you eat like really unhealthy. You should probably eat some vegetables.
Oh my God.
Lindsay was like, well, what are you eating right now? He's like, a quesadilla. And she was like, okay.
Fuck you.
Respectfully, fuck off. A cold, fresh beer.
Yum.
This is taking me a lot longer than I thought it would because I'm a lot more meticulous about it than I thought I would be.
You can always stop it and put music on if you want.
I'm down for whatever.
I feel like that might be the move. Are you happy with your painting?
I'm very happy with it.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Ta-da! On sale now.
For $1 million.
For $1 million.
This is high quality.
Thank you for coming on.
Of course, this is so fun.
Thank you for being my first one. Tell your mom to watch.
I will.
And purchase.
Yep. I'm gonna tell her it's really expensive.
That is fine art.
Yep.
Andy Warhol inspired.
Totally.
Mwah.
Mwah.